Hello and welcome for speaking part 2 in IELTS. طبعا for speaking part 2 دي نقطة ضعف ناس كتير عشان مش بنعرف نتكلم English بصورة مستمرة أو نتكلم على topic واحد لمدة طويلة. هنا طبعا إن speaking part 2 في ال IELTS بيكون عبارة عن cue card، ورقة هو بيديها لك وفيها التوبيك. التوبيك ده you expected إنك تتكلم عليه من دقيقة ونص لدقيقتين. يعني هو cut you off وقت ما هو حابب follow up questions with you. طيب this one uh, it's all about good preparation. لازم to prepare كويس and follow a structure. ليه follow a structure أو ليه follow a format. Mainly it's easier for you if you know what you're going to talk about. So it gives you confidence, and the more you're confident, the better that you can perform in this task. طيب نشوف هنا part 2. بيبقى عايز يسمع مننا like story, details, feeling, examples, mainly examples. ده اللي بيبقى عايز يسمعه مننا. طيب أنا عشان أقدر أجاوب part 2 أمشي على format. فالفورمات اللي عندنا هنا عندي الكيو بيكون 3 parts: part 1 part 2 and part 3. فأنا عندي الكيو كارد اللي باخده من الإكزامينر بيكون 2 بيكون 3 parts. الكيو كارد بيتقسم ل 3 parts. عندي the first one is the topic. What is the topic about? Then some questions you need to explain your answer. And finally is the top question. This question is very important. Here, it's good strategy. You can always start with a filler or an introduction to the topic. For example, here talks about هنا بيتكلم عن describe a time when you changed the plan you had made. Simply, this is the topic. ده التوبيك اللي هو عايزه مننا. ما ينفعش إجابتي أبدأ على طول أدخل في الكلام. طيب هو مديك الورقة هو عارف انت هتتكلم عن ايه، بس this is a communication test. You need to communicate well. فهنا simply اقدر اعمل ايه. We start with an introduction to the topic. Something with let me tell you about a time I completely changed the plan I've made. It could be something like this. So ناخد دي بنعملها paraphrase and we'll try to introduce the topic. بنقدم التوبيك بتاعنا. طيب نروح على تاني part. تاني بارت بيكون مكون من ال three questions الموجودين هنا. Answer the three questions. مش فكرة إنك بتأنسر بتقول إجابة وخلاص، أنا فكرة كأنك بتحكي القصة بتاعتك. You're telling a story. طيب هنا عندي what your original plan was. It's an easy question هجاوب عليه. So my original plan or my initial plan أي paraphrase أنت عايزه عشان تجيب high scores. So my original plan was to travel to Alexandria with my friends during the summer holiday. So that was the original plan. Then why you change it? هنجاوب على السؤال. We changed the plan because one of my friends became ill and the weather was terrible. So here I gave actually two reasons. Totally fine as long as it's part of the story. جزء من الحكاية بتاعتي. Then, what new plan you made? ده تالت سؤال. Instead, we decided to stay in Cairo and spend the weekend together here. So, I'm answering the three questions. It's an easy and simple way to answer this question. We'll start with introduction to the topic. Then we answer the three questions. You can طبعا use بداية الجمل زي ما انتوا عايزين عشان نربط. Then we go for the most important part. ايه هو the third part. طيب third part انا المفروض اعمل فيه ايه. Here explain how you felt. Explain So it's not just answering, it's more liberation. How you felt, I need a feeling about changing your plan. This is a very good one. دايما هنا بشوف هو عايز مني ايه وبقسمه على 2 points plus example plus example. يبقى أنا عندي 2 points and 2 examples, 2 reasons, 2 examples. Again, so here we're talking about آخر point اللي هو part 3 في الكيو card. تقسم ل 2 things, 2 points and 2 examples. لازم 2 examples. طيب نشوف هنا point 1 ايه الايديا وايه الاكزامبل اللي عليها. At first, I felt disappointed because I have been looking forward to this trip for several weeks. As, or here is not like for example, so I can say just as I had already packed my clothes and planned many activities. Here, more of like explanation, but again, it works. I'm supporting my point. ليه أنا كنت disappointed. It's very important. أول idea إن أنا كنت disappointed مش كنت مستعد. Then I explained why, or I give an example. For example, I can also say, for example, I have already booked like some of the restaurants that I wanted to try. So that would be a very good example, a solid example. Then you can add another sentence, of course, after this one. Point two, here I still need a feeling. Our feeling can disappointed. لازم تبين فيها feeling. So, however, I felt happy. So the second feeling was happy. Happy عشان اتلغت. Yeah, so I started with a very good word. However, later I felt happy because we still spent quality time together. For example, in fact, we watched a movie, played games, and had dinner together. So we still had a great weekend. Then you can add like overall and then give any like sort of comment. Here a comment اللي عندي كان so we had a great weekend. This is just a closure. نهاية ال speaking. لازم أنهي ال speaking دايما ب something like I try to be positive. So we still had a great weekend. So آخر السؤال بنحط so وندي أي positive comment about the whole thing. طيب this is my answer in the exam and it's very good. في الامتحان عايز اسمع clear pronunciation, good grammatical structure, اللي عندي تنوع في الجمل, tenses, استخدم التنسز هنا mainly stories ومحتاج اسمع منك past simple, past continuous, present simple if possible, past perfect. All of these very important, and of course present perfect. All of these tenses try to mix between them. The number two, number three, I need good pronunciation and good intonation with stress on the words. So you need to be very good with your pacing. You're not talking too fast or too slow. You try to stress on important ideas and expressing your feelings, of course. If you're happy, try to say it in a happy voice. Disappointed, so also in a disappointed voice. This is very important. So this is your answer. ايه اهم جزء في الانسر؟ preparation. الاكزامينر بيديك الكيو كارد معاها ورقة تانية تكتب فيها النوتس بتاعتك. النوتس is very important. الورقة بتاعت النوتس is very important. ليه؟ لو كتبت نوتس كويسة هعرف اتكلم. No notes, no good answer. So it's very important to structure your note. Your note أنا دايما بحب آخر حتة بالذات أو آخر part في الquestion يكون هو ليه notes مهمة جدا. هنا ممكن أكتب ال original plan, why, and the new plan. Again, I'm here writing some words, كلمات تساعدني وأنا بقرأ. Then ال idea one كتبت the pointed with ال example with the same for two. يبقى مهم عندي يكون ده شكل النوتس بتاعتي، وأنا بتكلم مش متلخبط، مش متأثر، مش هقف كتير. نحاول طبعا ان احنا بارت 2 بالذات ما نعطلش وما نقفش. لو وقفنا it reduces like our score a lot. So we always try to be focused. We try to speak as much as we can. Try to give stories, to give feelings, a positive comment in the end. Try to start with a good introduction. نبدأ بintroduction كويسة للtopic. If you follow these steps, guaranteed you will get a high score. ده اللي بيكون الإكزامينر عايزه في task 2. And إن شاء الله see you in part 3 in the speaking for IELTS, which will be like again a very important one. So see you in the next video.